Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Ashes Wednesday, where I roll dice and Steven wins games.
That's so funny. Hey, before we get any further,
it's your birthday gift.
As is customary. Yeah, that was really
months late.
Funny. It's really funny. To my benefit, the difference between the intro music and us now talking to you.
Nice little test.
Did you have to turn up your volume or turn down your volume at all?
I assume most people just experienced it.
This is my soul crusade. Did you find yourself saying like, okay, I was listening to this music and falling asleep, and now the voices are here. Is it too loud? Is it the same?
Good question.
Or is it too low? Because I don't want people to have to crank up their volume, Intro was louder. Good. Okay, hold on. I'm going to fix that right now.
So
I refuse to
part
lose.
of what we're asking, in case you're curious, or if this is the first time you're with us, first off, welcome. You're
baby.
Happy to have you here. Constantly looking to make this stream better and testing out some new audio equipment and mics and stuff. If you've been watching us for the past year, I know, right? We usually have mics on our, lab mics, I guess, attached to us, and so we're experimenting with these are boom mics, technically.
What are they called?
Shotgun mics?
Shotgun mics, yeah.
What's a boom mic? Is that a thing?
Well, so a boom pole is one of those long poles that you hold whenever somebody's talking.
Yeah.
And on
movie sets, you'll see that kind of stuff.
Is essentially shotgun microphones. So very directional, very much about picking up dialogue.
So
and
this
not
would be the
picking up
boom?
Other things. That's technically our boom stand, yes.
Gotcha.
But, I think there's technically boom mics in that they're typically used in that context more, like particularly external. Outdoors, like got to be rugged, got to be able to be on set. Shotgun mics like these are a little bit more tender.
I've seen that in some of the behind-the-scenes Star Wars footage. They're like out in the desert doing the, Also, someone's saying they can see yours a little bit.
Yeah, this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just touched it. Oh, just watch this. Fix that problem.
Anyways, we're testing that out. It's been being untethered. It makes me feel like I'm not even on stream. It's weird.
That's right. Makes me do that dance.
Also, somehow this ended up in my dice. Did you see this? This is my dice bag.
What is it?
One of these random. That's the.
Oh, it's the
tome dice.
I was looking for that.
Anyways, welcome to Ashes Wednesday. I'm excited. I have been rotating through the decks I built months ago, getting to play them. Our pacing at this point is about one game a week, and I love it.
Yeah, that's about right, isn't it?
Just slowly, peeling back the layers of the onion of every round of play here.
Yeah, so I got into the old Nick Conley special, Nick's Beefy Boys.
It's good,
as we've talked about it.
In hindsight, it's really good.
Yeah, going back through that game, reviewing the tape as I did, I can crush you.
No wonder you're winning.
There were a lot of moments where I just wasn't appreciating the options that I actually had.
Yeah, because in the aftermath, you were like, I'm not sure about why Echo is the choice. Yeah. And then people in chat were like, this reason, and this reason, and this reason. It's
you really start to understand what Grave Knight can do in these kind of contexts. I'm going to pull up chat here so I can be a part of the conversation here.
How good?
Well, the key with Grave Knight is Echo exhausts something, attack a Grave Knight, they have to block.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way to I just exhausted that snake, even if it doesn't kill the snake.
So as an example, I have a Gilder out and a snake out. You Echo exhaust the Gilder.
Look at my chart.
Attack. Now I have to block with the snake.
That's it.
It's exhausted, and then all of a sudden, wham bam, we're in Trouble Town.
At that point, can you unexhaust or not? Is the question.
That is the question. Well, I've been I played my Odette deck probably month or two ago, and if you remember, I was on the Summon Emperor Lion and the Dread Wraith combo, right? Mm-hmm. So you Dread Wraith, and you bring Lion out and Law of Domination, and then they hit each other, and
Bryce,
it gets good.
Shut that door.
But the recognition that I've been having just on the economy of the game, another thing, we're going to do a random not random, we've been doing it the past week or two, kind of Q&A before we dive in, so we're going to get to that in a second. But the cost of the Summon Dread Wraith is 3, and the cost of the Lion is 3.
You can't do both.
And that was so restrictive.
Yeah, too much.
So I've dropped the Lion. And we're going the Unholy Odette, which is leaning a little ceremonial here. Still going Dread Wraith. I was just kind of laying out, and the more focused these things get, it kind of opens your options wider.
Yeah.
And
so you're on a whole new thing.
There's a lot of layers to this.
This looks good. You got some beef here too. I think you have to have a little beef.
Well, the beef means that your opponent can't get you with little chips of damage.
Yeah.
So then they need to have exhaustion or answers to big units.
Or just a ton. Like Koji can have 10 things, or like the Fallen stuff.
My Brennan deck does that. It has just continues to vomit out things, for sacrificial purposes.
So we'll do a little Q&A. Please do tell me if literally getting Zach's voice into a microphone is akin to recording the sounds of a ghost. Sometimes you're watching a television show and they're like, Ghost Hunters episode 58. We finally recorded a ghost.
Like, do you hear that sound in the background?
Yeah. Is that a whisper? Did Zach just whisper something about a silver snake in the background of this room?
Yeah.
So it's very strange. So please do let me know if there's ever any imbalance on the volume of the two of us during the Q&A session. And now we'll open her up.
Yeah, so let's hop to that, and then we'll dive into a game of Ashes and hang out. If you're new to Ashes, this probably isn't the best place to start. There's a how to play video from Rodney from Watch It Played over on Watch It Played. It's like 20 minutes. It has everything you need to know about. It's been a funny week. Everything you need to know about how to play this game. It's a great video, and he's a great creator, so he's worth checking out if you aren't aware. Joe Solo saying I sound louder.
Oh, good.
So try to project more.
Well, that's never been the case. I love it. Bring it on.
Cheseret says, oh boy, going to try to make the Dread Wraith work. Good luck. Well, hey, thank you.
We find ourselves in these situations, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a two-person meta, you can kind of explore a little and not be worried about getting dunked on. Although, tonight I'm playing in the Ashes League, and that's been fun. Just getting to play against, not rhinos.
Yeah, well, who's not running rhinos? Why are they not hip to that in the Nisei
That's
League?
really the question,
the
right?
Nisei League
Are you going to build Shuri at some point? That's my question.
It's built. It's just awful. Do you mean am I going to eventually make it a good deck?
Uh-huh.
I think so.
Yeah.
My problem was similar to what you were talking about.
Trying to do too
front.
much.
I was trying to summon Raven and something else, and Raven's 3 die.
Yeah, 3's a lot.
And it's a summon, right? So like having a consistent 3-die summon that you want to get on the board, and Prey 2, you want to get it every time. You want to summon, take something off. That's a lot of dice pressure. So like it's about balance, of course, like all things. Just not what I want to hear. I want an easy, one simple solution.
Except for apparently the Star Wars saga.
Oh man,
we
just can't get enough, can we?
King of Donata played in a sealed Monarch event this past weekend. I'm curious to know what you all thought of Monarch Limited so far, balance, complexity, etc. I'm a huge fan of Monarch Limited. I've done a fair amount of it at this point, and the way those decks play against each other, I'm a really big fan of. And the mechanic of like Shadow and Light in the same set, and everyone has to kind of play one or the other. We did draft, and it was just very nuanced and good. But I do think the skill ceiling on that is pretty high. Like you have to assess your pool and really make some decisions, because there's some decks you can build that are really bad.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
The limited. So we've kind of tried to express the limited format of that game of Monarch is basically, I think Chain and Prism are always good.
It's hard for them to be bad.
Their floor is like on average floor. A bad Levia pool is well in the basement, and a bad Bolton pool is in the basement as well.
Yeah.
But if you do have the right cards in your pool, Levia can go up above the average Chains and Prisms, and Bolton can definitely go up above as well. So you're going to see more Prism and Chain in a tournament, because you can always make something out of that.
Yeah.
But I think if you have a good enough Levia pool, you have an easy matchup against Prism, and you probably do okay against Bolton as well. So I guess a pretty okay thing. If you have the goods and you're looking for 6-cost attacks, you're probably not even banishing much of anything. Blood Debt is probably not even your game on that.
I agree with that.
But then if you have a really good Prism pool, or you have a really good Chain pool, those are also really good decks. So I just think Levia and Bolton are going to be less common.
Yeah. I think it's good that both Shadow and Light have kind of a go-to.
Yeah.
I think that's smart design. And even the reality that if you're thinking about playing Prism or Chain, knowing that anyone that is on Levia probably has a really easy matchup against you.
Yeah.
It's just a cool decision point that you have to go through.
That puts it there.
Yeah. But they both definitely require more pieces than we're playing Welcome to Wraith sealed and stuff. Those heroes just work.
Yeah, a little more high flying.
They've all got weapons they can just swing. Yeah. There's no fancy you can't lose the game for yourself, really. With Chain, too much Blood Debt. Same thing with Levia. It's like you can just lose because you just, did it wrong.
There's a lot more complexity to Monarch, for sure.
Joe Solo saying, I need to check out this Flesh and Blood. You two need to stop selling me on all these fun games.
It's good. I'm really into it. Van says, any plans to stream the second Keyforge PvE scenario? I'd like to do that.
I would do it. I got more decks that I haven't opened.
You got decks. Open some decks. Stream the thing.
David asking, I love the Nisei Netrunner content. Any chance for more content there?
Yeah. Definitely.
We have the Nisei stuff.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of similar to what we're doing with Star Wars CCG right now. It's like, you know, we might want to do a 3-part playthrough Netrunner series at some point, but it's not every week. It's not even every month. Same with the CCG, a game we deeply love as well. It's like, you know, we'll get into it every month and a half, 2 months, maybe do a week or two of content, and then
come back later. Kind of like in real life.
Bob Ball saying, if only there was a way to swap hairstyles in the video.
That'd be funny.
I feel like
if you had like really long
golden hair. Actually, that would not be a good look, would it? Like kind of a Fabio thing going on without the muscles.
I'd sort of like to see it once.
Yeah, me too.
just once. Well, hey, you ready to dive into this thing?
Yeah, let's dive in. Van, last thing here. Any new throwback games coming up that you haven't done yet? Anyone that you're most excited about? What do we have coming up for the throwbacks?
Okay. Don't want to promise too many things.
It's not a promise. It's just an idea.
Star Wars. Really excited about that. Things that are high on the list are like Highlander.
Yep.
Warhammer Champions from...
of course. Play Fusion.
Young Jedi CCG. Got to revisit that. The Rumble Slam.
Yeah, we need to check out Rumble Slam.
At some point, we'll play X-Wing. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's going to happen. Mega Man TCG also could be hilarious.
Oh, the Buffy game? There's that Buffy collectible CCG, card game.
Yeah.
Doomtown?
You gotta love Doomtown.
Doomtown Reloaded. Zach and I will continue to not know how to play the game. So that'll be funny. It's like trying to teach it even in a throwback context. It's like, so do I go to the saloon? I don't...
When do I reveal my poker hand?
How many land points do you have? Did I just gallop into a victory? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I shoot yet?
You didn't gallop into anything except for a land dispute. James says, play Star Wars Destiny again. Yeah. That's not unlikely to get featured from time to time. I had a lot of Destiny. It's the fresh scar, you know? It's not nostalgic yet. It still just hurts.
Yeah.
Especially knowing we were one set away from getting the Mandalorian and the Crate Dragon.
Just don't even talk about it.
You know, man. Get out of here.
Why even bother?
Anyways, back to Ashes. Here's what I want to say.
Got a message?
I feel like the closer my decks get to being playable, the more nuance and decision points that are available to me as a player.
Okay.
Which is a heavy burden.
It puts a lot more pressure on, doesn't it? You're not a newbie anymore. You've got to actually come to the sword fight and know that you're winning and losing based on your skill.
Based on your decisions and not based on some other element.
Not
my opponent
just
had the answer or whatever.
Yeah.
But so the reason I say that is that previously this deck, and I think this is why it's so stark for me, I was summon Dreadwraith, summon Emperor Lion, which is 6 of my dice.
Yeah.
So like even my opening hand is like, well, I have 4 dice to play with and 3 cards. There's only so many things
you have to commit a lot all at once.
Yeah.
Which Ashes hates. Just like Destiny didn't like that either.
Any resource investment game.
Yeah. Like Warhammer, you remember Warhammer Conquest? 40K?
Yeah.
Where it was like, zero cost pass? Zero cost pass?
Yeah, it literally pass as long as you can.
Yeah, and then you're like, 5 costs.
So on that, as soon as I was like, I'm going to drop the Emperor line, right? Yeah. It's like a whole new world opened up.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
So I got a little more focused on the Dreadwraith, and then it gives me choices. So like I have my first 5 lane here, and technically I kind of have 2 or 3 dice. It could be 1 and 1 or 2 of 1 that are floating, and so there's any number of cards I could play.
Let's go in.
I'll just show it real quick. So summon Dreadwraith, of course, I'm going to play it. I have the option of playing it and not summoning it, but then what are you doing? This is the kind of focus I'm talking about, though. So not to spoil my opening to Steven too much, but here we are. Small sacrifice, action to play. You don't have to spend it on the first turn, which I love those choices that you can make.
It's called an action.
But you can spend a ceremonial knife. I also love the fact that none of these require the goat.
Yeah, we've been fighting over power die these days.
I get less reliant on those the more the older I get in the Ashes verse.
Sometimes you need it to hit on the opening roll for you to have that big second turn.
Yep, and every meditate you don't have to do might be an extra turn you get.
That's true.
Anyways, so the ability is deal damage to a target unit on your battlefield. If you do, you can deal damage to a target unit on an opponent's battlefield.
Easy.
So the reason that's so good, obviously, is that it can charge my Dread Wraith and also do a damage to something.
It's perfect.
And you'll see later on, there's ways to do little pings of damage as well. I'm not running nature, so the 1 damage pings are also very valuable.
You find that out, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm also running, as my last spellboard slot, Drain Vitality. This is another one of these ceremony abilities. And it can deal damage to a target unit. If I do, I can remove a wound from a target unit.
I mean, yeah, this is were you doing this before?
No.
With the Dread Wraiths?
Instead, it was...
Doesn't this seem built for Dread Wraith?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
I chose, am I going to focus on the Lion or the Dread Wraith?
It's the Nazgul deck.
And I was like, all right, let's go Dread Wraith. And then I started looking at the cards again. It was like, that makes sense.
It's fantastic.
So I basically have 2 ways to put damage here if I can't figure out other ways to make that happen, which Odette's ability also works here, right? Mm-hmm. Technically, Odette can punch for 2, and she takes 1 back. But I don't like that. I would rather...
It's not awesome.
What I like is I could do 1 here and 2 here.
Yeah.
So I can get rid of a 3. I can get rid of a 1 health thing. I can get rid of a 2 health thing and get rid of a 3 health thing.
Yes.
Which is the kind of synergy I'm after.
That's synergy. Energy. You remember that old video?
So then, things go wrong. People in the first 5, I think a lot of people are going to have destroy a unit, exhaust a unit, that kind of stuff, right?
No,
so if I summon a Dread Wraith for 3, and then you just lock it down, I got problems. So my backup to this is the Holy Knight.
Well, this doesn't seem to make sense. Are you evil or are you good?
Yes.
Okay. The ultimate Zach Bunn reality. I'm conflicted. Like Kylo and Vader.
Etc. And everyone that watched the sequels.
Like two wolves, which one do you feed? You know that old thing? Hey, what's the name of Nick Conley's deck that I'm playing today?
I think it's called Beefy Boys.
Is it not Nick's Beefy Boys? I looked it up. I couldn't find it on there.
I don't know what it's called. But this is what I was kind of talking about, right? So even just, let's say I'm going down this lane, right? So this cost me a die to use, so I had to even put into play. This one doesn't. So I could play this. I don't have to spend these dice if I don't, feel the need.
You just leave them. Yeah, just leave them. Leave them all game.
So let's just say I'm definitely doing the Dread Wraith, but I'm not using one of these. Whatever. That technically leaves me with these 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
So I could plan on just playing this and playing something else that costs 3.
Sure.
Which is fun. Or I could plan on using this and spending 2.
Right.
So
you won't really know if you're going to use small sacrifice until you see what your opponent does.
Right.
Because maybe they're on all beef, and it's like, well, 1 damage is maybe not the ideal.
Yeah. Now, small sacrifice, the real Drain Vitality is the one that's really questionable because it deals the damage and then heals the damage. So
I don't think you have to be able to heal to deal the damage, right?
No, but I think if you can remove a wound, you have to.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a make clause.
And so the thing about the healing that's nice is like sometimes your opponent plays a unit, Dread Wraith has 3 left, they have 3 attack, and it's like, oh, I can deal the damage to something and remove 1 of these wounds.
That's very true.
Not on the right number. But the cards I really like in this spot, as an example, the 2 are her signature card, Sword of Virtue. It's 2 cost, 2 basics. Destroy a unit, or remove all exhaustion tokens and wounds from a unit. So that obviously has a ton of flexibility. It can be offensive or defensive and depends on what's going on.
That card is hot sauce.
It is really good. The other one is Meteor. And the reason I would go Meteor over Sword of Virtue is that Meteor doesn't target anything.
Yeah.
So it could damage my Wraith to power it up as well, right? So if I spend, 2 lions on this thing, it's going to do 3 damage to everything, which usually would clear the board.
Yeah.
And also then now I have a 4 strength Dread Wraith.
Yeah.
It also can't be canceled by Golden Veil.
I like this a lot.
So the decision point for me is, are you running Charm?
Yes.
If yes, Meteor.
Yeah.
If not, Sword of Virtue.
Sword of Virtue.
Yeah.
Very good. You got to love that. Real quick note, just in case anybody out there is unaware, your hydration is of the utmost importance.
We care about it for some reason.
We care about you. We care about the way your body feels. And we care about the way your brain functions. And as such, 48 ounces of pure H2O delivered with the only vehicle that matters, an Nalgene water bottle, 100% HDPE food grade plastic. Water your brain, water your mind. Anything else that we say here? And to Nalgene Corporation, send the check anywhere you like. I can be reached here at Covenant. I can be reached over at my house.
Anywhere you like.
Anywhere you want. You can reach out to me directly. You can wire the money. $10,000 a mention. It's all yours. You can have all my ideas for free. Anyway, it's great. No, really, we're not drinking enough water, collectively. If you're drinking soda, you know what I mean? either stop, which maybe you can't do, or at least supplement with a lot of water, because you're missing out on a lot of hydration there. Coffee, you're dehydrating yourself.
Speaking of soda.
A cocktail at night or in the middle of the afternoon, depending on the day, you need to drink a lot of water.
Like Wednesday.
Yeah, like probably 32 ounces per drink. It would even the scales. And remember, your body doesn't process water all at once. So if you drink 48 ounces in a second, it doesn't really do you that much good. It's about 8 ounces an hour. So you really need to be on a constant stream of water. That's why those IV drips are so effective, because they deliver it in a way that is easily digestible.
And like specific.
That's right.
They can literally get you 8 ounces per hour across the hour evenly. Magic. Quick question from Joe Solo. Any update on Jericho? Apologies if I missed it. So it is on the way to us. Last week, end of last week, Plaid had posted a picture. They finally received it in the warehouse. As soon as we have that, we're going to start getting to work packing that up. But at this point, expecting, I think, early next week at the soonest is when that would start firing.
Did your watch actually give you information on that, or did you just look at it?
I was seeing what day and date was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't just like...
You're one of those guys,
doing
huh?
my thing.
What day is it?
I definitely... well, our days are structured very simple. We play different games on different days, but like... Once we started streaming 4 or 5 days a week, it made every day kind of start feeling the same.
Yeah, that's true. And the pandemic certainly didn't help, did it? I could only track the hours by the length of your hair.
The trap. Anyways, we're going to get those out as soon as we can. As soon as we do, that tracking will start updating, and we'll be off to the races from there.
Did you read number 1 Bo Lever's comment?
No, but I like that name.
So excited to finally watch an Ash's live stream and properly understand what's going on after buying the master set. First of all, welcome. So glad that you're here and you can learn from people who are average at the game. And then secondarily,
have a good time doing it.
We've seen so many people talking about getting these master sets and getting into Ashes, and we are thrilled about it. It's a wonderful game. Please do get in, explore. And if you want it to continue being printed and to keep expansions coming, to continue to hone and refine and introduce new concepts to your decks, then subscribe to get all the future products. And also, it's kind of the number, it's expressly the number that Plaid Hat is basing their printing decisions on. So as long as there's enough subscribers, they'll keep printing the game. And if we ever have not enough subscribers, we'll be like, hey, red alert. If you guys want this to keep going, we're going to need to get some more people behind it. And if that doesn't happen, then it will be the end, at least the second time. Maybe it'll come back a third time. Who knows?
Phoenix can always be reborn.
That's right. You can rise as many times as you need to.
Also worth noting, if you didn't sign up in time to get charged for that Breaker of Fate expansion, we should have those available on the website, a certain amount of them, after the fact. So after we send them all to subscribers and stuff, we'll put those on the web store. So I've seen some people asking about that.
And finally, special message to Nick Conley, lead designer of the game. Apparently the deck is called Echo Vampire.
Okay.
Which is not a good name. Nick, we need to talk about this.
You need a real name.
We need a real name.
Not like Phoenix Born plus main unit.
Right. And I think Nick's Beefy Boys it's a good working title. I'm not saying that it's right. I think with your name, Nick Conley, you could do some kind of play on conies. Either abrasive conies, like the rabbits, so like your Time Hopper deck should be called Abrasive Conleys, which is hilarious. But Echo Vampire is not enough. That's not right. Man, I look like I'm right out of Vegas on this shirt, don't I? Is there 6 buttons gone there?
Yeah, hilarious. I like that you just noticed.
Well, normally I have to button the top button like I'm going to church because I have to have that lav mic there.
But now you can be a little more loose and free.
Well, it's my natural state.
You got that peace shirt on. Now, this is a bunch of hand symbols. What's going on there?
Oh, it's like peace and rock
this
on.
Thing
and I know, they got to put something on it to make it interesting, I guess. Yeah. I'm not particularly into hands or anything. It's just...
King of...
It's the way it had to be.
Odonata. Anyways, how did retailers factor in the PvP format as far as knowing whether they're going to continue the game or not? So all we know is that if there's enough people on the PvP system, it will keep going. Whether or not they would decide to keep going or not, if it was less than that, is... I mean, technically they could keep making it or not. That's really up to them. But we have had assurances that they will keep making it as long as we have at least that many subscribers.
And I'd imagine, I mean, if you're looking at the bottom line and you're like, well, retailers are buying 16 million units and we're moving X thousand through subs, it's like, Well,
they're going to keep printing it.
So subs are fine, but we don't need them anymore, right? Yeah. So that would actually be acceptable too. If it was just like this was like the giant burst of momentum that it needed to come back into the space, and it actually can survive in a current retail environment, that's great too.
Party on.
I'd be all for that. Yeah. I just want the cards. And a little bit of money. I want a little bit of money. Just, as an employee of the organization, I would like a little bit of money.
Having your time be worth something is useful. So you're running one charm die.
Making these jokes for nothing.
Can you level with me? That's because you're running Golden Veil, right?
I don't know why I'm doing it. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Is Golden Veil in there?
Let me give you a reason.
No. There's a unit that needs it. You're running to run all the beefiest units. You have to run those 4 dice types.
Yeah, because basically Nick was like, "What are the most blessed allies I made?" And then I'm gonna run them all. It's not even that, man. It's a blood archer is one of them. That needs a little heart.
Ben asking what the European availability is like. Shipping costs reasonable or scary? So, anywhere not in the U.S. currently is going through standard distribution. If standard distribution wants it. And retailers want it and whatnot. We are at
that's kind of changed too. We didn't know that would necessarily be the thing going in. Well, no, we kind of knew that, didn't we?
Well, we knew that it was possible, but it would take distribution and retailers wanting the product for it to even happen, right? Because that's to set up a distribution chain and make enough supply to send it and all that kind of stuff. We're at the tail end of. You do have a golden veil. You have one golden veil.
I have one golden. Why is he doing one?
Bryce's face.
Why is he doing one golden veil? What, do you want it or not?
Well, you can only have so many cards that use it. So you probably start with this, so you can't just get punked on the first round.
What does he say? Hold on, I'm looking.
But we are at the very tail end of getting our ability to serve in the UK at least, basically domestically. We're not going to start with subscriptions. We're going to start with some of our own custom components and stuff just to test the system out. But once that's up and running, we're hoping to serve domestically there and then continue on as long as there's an audience there for us to do it.
He says nothing about Golden Veil in the write-up, and it's not in your first 5. But it probably is if you're an advanced player. You get me? So here's what we do. What do we do? Master Van suggested, and this is standard first 5, right? So keep that in mind. This is like
you can change
for toddlers like me. This is the first 5, and then
King of Odonata saying ceremonial recursion, less need for Golden Veil, plus only 1 charm.
Yeah, you do. I think you run it anytime you have charm die. Maybe it's just 1 to spook your opponent. Is it ever not useful?
If your opponent's not targeting your things, yeah.
Yeah, in which case it's like, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. You know? You're not targeting my vampires. All right, Grave Knight.
Odonata.
Summon Blood Puppet. Didn't Odonata mean something?
I don't know. We have the king from there, though.
We do have the king. Present, yeah. Would you please stand up when I call your name?
Number 1 believer. Token availability for the UK. That sounds incredibly exciting. Yeah, we've been working on almost a year.
So close. So yeah, everything takes forever, and we've been talking about this a lot.
It's the scientific order for dragonflies.
The more, oh, cool, King of the Dragonflies. That's actually very hip. The more third parties introduced into a system, the worse and longer it is. It gets.
Boy, howdy.
Welcome to 3-tier distribution chain. Am I right? But sorry, but
real, it's true. It's you know what? It should be like the 8 tier. You know why? Because here's the thing. You have the publisher, you have the manufacturer in China, you have the company that ships it from that factory to the dock, you have the docking company that ships it from there to the States.
To the thing, yeah.
Then you have the docking company in the US that has to unload that stuff. Then you have the shipping company that has to ship it from there to distribution. Then you have the distribution company that has to ship it to retailers. Then they ship it to the customer. It's crazy.
That is almost 8 tiers on the nose, isn't it?
I guessed. I knew it was roughly 5 to 10, so I just picked,
Our eyes are open and we're learning a lot.
I shared the article this morning about the global distribution issues that are going on right now, and it's like, well, no wonder Ashes got delayed. It's like they can't even. They're having to have ports dock on islands outside of Seattle to just wait.
My wife was looking for a new pair of Chacos. Those are sandals, and
I appreciate the clarity.
They're all out of stock. And I was like, yo, yeah, welcome. They're not getting all the different like it's all messed up.
It makes me wonder, honestly, like Flesh and Blood had, they pushed the first edition release in May back a week because they were having to airship in part of the supply because the boats were taking too long. And then actually Flesh and Blood, the publisher being from New Zealand, literally released the Unlimited before the first edition because all the first edition was stuck on a boat waiting to get to New Zealand. But I think there's
like so many of us.
Like, just really looking at it, there's potentially, and that article I was reading this morning got me a little nervous about the end of the year, because they were basically saying it's bad now. And
but we're about to shove a lot more through the system.
August is bad for like all the back to school product stuff that comes to the U.S. apparently, and all that time of year. And then the holidays are just gross.
I mean, if you were just getting all the work done, and then everything shuts down and everything gets super behind, and then you bring back the same amount of workforce and logistics,
but make bigger demand.
But you just have a giant backlog. How do you ever work out of the backlog? As the USPS is dealing with the same system.
Yeah. It is the problem. So the reason I say that though is
we're delayed forever.
A company like Legend Story, it's like at some point I think you have to consider like the next release is supposed to be September, and it's like, do you even put that on a boat?
Just right on the airplane.
Go ahead and acknowledge the fact that the only way to guarantee this is happening in time is to ship this in the air.
I know.
But that's actually how systems can also self-correct, is that like if like Chacos, like if you can't get supply in the US, you'll opt for the more expensive thing, which is shipping it by air, and maybe even raise your price of the thing, right?
Yeah.
But that will relieve some amount of pressure on the boats.
Yeah.
Because people are using other ways to get these products there.
Can't Elon send it into space yet? And
that'd be great.
Beam
like
it down to me or something? I don't know. Just throwing out ideas.
What I'd love to see is certain industries considering potentially domestic or intercontinental, like what do you call same continent? Intercontinental?
Intercontinental would be between continents, I reckon. But like within continent, it's just like keep it local, as local as you can.
Because even if whatever's being made is at least on the same continent, you don't involve in boats necessarily.
Yeah, and I'm the same with like food and everything else. It's like the more local anything can be, the better. I think that's going to happen over time naturally.
Yeah. Well, the problem with the States is we're all the United States very individualistic.
Sure.
We don't have a centralized authority coming in and saying, you know what, actually, you're going to have to ship this via air, you're going to have to do this on train, and that kind of stuff to make this clear out.
But I do think that with these kinds of problems that are going to continue to cascade, I think as our systems are interlinked, local production, manufacturing, distribution of food on up is going to be a market viable alternative.
Sure.
And that's what it always takes, right?
Well, you can imagine if the Chacos people were making it down the street, it might be more expensive to do that, but also they wouldn't be having supply issues right now.
Yeah, no supply issues. And Cheese Rat mentions your carbon footprint's way lower, your sustainability is way higher, the quality of the food, of course, is way higher. So interesting times. Strange times is when things change.
Yep.
Hopefully for the better.
Definitely.
You want to lose real quick?
Let's do it. You want to give me a top down?
Yes. All that to say, though, we got to get the AVA. You got to get the tax people involved on the UK stuff.
Legal. You've got to get the service.
You've got to figure out
functions.
How to get your orders to a UK warehouse through the technology that does that. You got to vet your warehouses there in the UK. Now you got a third-party fulfillment partner, and heaven forbid if they just decide not to come to work someday, Yeah. I mean,
or as an example, one of the complications with subscriptions. What happens if our Break Our Fate boxes show up in the US and they're 4 weeks late over in the UK? The system currently previously at least wasn't designed to handle that moment.
Well, we got to now. And then when I was in Europe, I traveled around in Europe for a little while, long time ago, and Americans seem less excited about being on strike. I swear I was over there. The train people were on strike for a little while. The airplanes were on strike for a while. The bread people are on strike. It's like they're not afraid to just shut it down. If it's like, we don't like it, they'll just shut it down. Yeah.
It's kind of like the current United States Postal Service situation where half the people are just like, apparently.
Well, they're getting paid to not show up.
It's like, I'm going to go on vacation for the next month. Good luck.
Which is, of course, if you give me the ability to do that, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. If I was like, hey, Steven, you want to take the next month off?
Yeah.
No penalty or cost to you?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm leaving now.
All right. See you later. I'll be solo streaming for a long time.
Anyway, so, you got to watch out for those warehouse. What if the warehouse just decides to they're just not coming into work? And then we're like, well, okay. I mean, but we got to send some emails, I guess.
Yeah.
Because people are...
Well, one of the stories that scared me the most was apparently one of the viewers who works within USPS was saying there's a lot of shipments that are being sent from like Columbus to Akron, Ohio, to just sit in a warehouse until people come back to work so they can sort and process and ship it.
Yeah. I think some of it, we've looked at some people who still haven't got their flesh and blood stuff, and it's just sitting somewhere. It's shipped, it's picked up by the truck, it goes somewhere and it sits, and I do think that they're literally waiting for hours in
just to
so they can sort through the products.
But all this just means stuff stacking up. It's not like less mails needs to get sent.
And then people come in and they got to work through a backlog, but they have the current log.
Yeah.
So we got to hire more people or something.
It's like going into debt. That interest is going to start racking up.
Yeah.
And people are going to get tired. People are going to quit because it's too stressful and it's too much work. And love this. Chaos Station says, didn't realize we tuned into a live Covenant cast. James saying, let's just go ahead and turn this into a full-on economics and supply chain management stream. I'm down.
Isn't that really what Ashes is about? It's all economics. We're going top down.
All right. Meanwhile, I get to play with my 2 favorite dice.
White and black. Those, I mean...
It just works.
We just show ourselves all of the time.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hide it.
As we get older, it's like formed in amber.
So I'm going to...
becomes unchanging.
Do what I said I did. You're running 1 charm, so I will play the game and change my mind based on that.
Is Steven going to be listening to Bright Eyes at any point in the next week? Yes. I'm over trying to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does Zach like black and white? 100%. Does Zach love black and red? Every time. Does Zach love Kylo Ren and Darth Vader and these conflicted characters who are maybe evil but have a semblance of good that have to figure that out over the course of their character arc?
Sure do.
Of course.
5 out of 5 stars. Would read that book again.
Yes, he will. He will love it every time.
Yeah.
Is Steven going to play something that nobody likes and not play things that people like? 100%. Yeah. Is his love for Illusionist willing to overtake his love for playing things that people hate? No, it's not. Once people stop loving Illusionist, I will love Illusionist.
You'll be right in there.
You know what I mean?
Or like the right character or weapon comes out that's just like not quite there.
Everyone's like, oh, this is awful. I don't know why anyone would do it. It's like, excuse me.
Did someone say my name?
I'll be right back. 6 years of deck building later. I made it work.
You ready to party? You got your dice? You're starting dice?
You want your mutton boards?
Yep. What's wrong?
Are there? Yep, they're there. Do you want a white and a black? Like, do you want to do a swap? Like, have a little this.
That's kind of cool. Well, we could make one the active.
There we go.
Which one do you think's the active? What color?
Black active.
And I'll take one.
White exhausted.
All right.
The presence of all color. The presence of no color.
Doesn't it depend on what you're looking at?
It depends on if it's pigments or light spectrum.
Someone told me that once, and I was like, I said I understood, and I still don't.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Sometimes it's best just to
I got
lie.
3 tickets to paradise. 3 basics. What do you got?
I don't know. I haven't looked at them yet. I don't need to know. I have 3 as well. Does that mean we re-roll?
Yep.
After you got them all in there.
That's all right. Not that much work. A lot.
Is rolling noises loud?
4.
3 basics. 4 basics.
4. Roll it again. Roll it
Those
again.
are loud. That noise is very loud. Yeah.
But, some people like the dice rolling noise. 3 basics.
3 basics as well.
Oh, my goodness. This has never happened on our stream. This is crazy. 2 basics.
2 basics.
Are you serious?
Yahtzee,
Statistically, the odds of this are so low.
I'm already having more fun than ever. Let's just roll these dice until we... 4 basics.
1, 2,
don't you dare say
3. 4. Only 3.
All right.
There it is. Who's going first? I liked my first roll way better.
You.
So you can go first on the second round.
Yeah, I think that's better. I think
you learn a lot about a player by that decision.
Yeah.
Do they think it's going to go to 3 turns, or do they think it's not going to matter?
I don't want to commit until you commit. It's a game of ashes.
All right. James W. saying ASMR too. Sheesh, so much in one stream.
That's right. I can talk softly into the mic and unbutton a shirt if that's something that... I'm probably not going to do that, actually.
That's not wrong, Joe.
That's a different
Joe saying that I did start the stream with saying that all I do is roll dice. So
that's all you do?
Remember I said I roll dice and Steven wins games?
Oh, that's true.
The greatest intro ever.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right.
You'd be a good wrestling manager.
I thought about doing that for
you for 3 minutes.
Promoter.
Yeah,
the commentators for wrestling.
You'd be on the side of the ring, and you'd sometimes bring the chair in and everyone would yell at you.
Yeah, or I'd sometimes get like a wrestler thrown into me and you just get to like act like it's a big deal.
I would love it.
All right, let's see. Man, you got Rainbow over there.
Yeah,
No wonder the deck's good. You play all the cards that are the best cards.
I hope he makes that next Brace of Coney's deck. Brace of Conley's? Come on.
It is pretty funny.
That's just gold. If you pass that up.
What are you even doing?
I don't know what for.
All right, I will play Summon Dread Ray.
Okay, well, I'll play...
No particular reason.
Summon Blood Puppet.
That thing? Oh, I hate that thing.
Let me see if I need to... What's your battlefield? 5? It's not too bad. And then, why I'm supposed to do this? Oh, so I can vampire myself. That's right. Which is interesting. And then, I might do a little swapperoo here.
Take your time.
Yeah, take your time. Let me do one. Let me do a little meditate one. Oof, chaos gravity. That's not good.
Keep meditating, please.
When all your cards are good, it's always bad. Okay. I hear cocktails being made in the background too. Bryce, I'm gonna bet you're not on the list. Just because.
You gotta talk to someone. You gotta work those angles.
What a dejected look.
Odette's ability is great against those puppets. Do 2 to it, she takes none in return.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to soak that ability though. Yeah. 1 die.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye.
You're not wrong.
In fact, against Odette, you probably don't even first 5 this, but Nick doesn't say that in the description.
So how are you supposed to know?
Yeah. Everything is wrong with Mr. Conley's decisions here.
It's all his fault. Okay.
I'm just hoping he shows up in the chat.
I'm going to play a small sacrifice. Then I'm going to meditate.
Just because I did it.
We're going to go...
Hey, you rolled pretty good there.
It's okay.
I feel like the angels show up more often than any other class symbol when you roll the angel dice.
I don't think you're wrong.
You think it has to do with something being heavier on the other side?
Probably.
Angel.
Are you an angel?
Angel. Wait, that's probably always...
4 is such a big meditation. I don't like it.
Oh, do 4. Yeah. 4.
But I got ceremonial, so I got to get those allies over in the pie.
Yeah.
All right, let's do 1.
Wow, you're running some...
2. There we go.
Hey, that's true, Tyler.
3.
Restream isn't putting other services comments in it. Well, there's no other services.
4.
Nobody's commenting on Twitch or the other one. Zuckland.
All right, you're up. Don't worry about it. I immediately get thirsty when I start hearing those sounds in the background.
Summon Lightbringer.
If I don't have anything out, I can't attack. How about that?
Yeah, it just means you can't summon a Dread Wraith, basically.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Zach, can you give the spiel?
Huh? Yes, I can give the spiel. Thank you so much, Robert.
You're welcome.
So if you're otherwise unaware, we are currently hot in the pursuit of Local Store 3.0, we're calling it, 3rd iteration. And as part of that, we're drinking cocktails every Wednesday. Now, so...
It's the only thing that keeps us going.
That's why we're here.
It's been a hard year.
As part of our next store, we're planning on having cocktails in the store. So our ops team is going through training and whatnot. And Steven and I, of course, were hesitant, but ultimately willing to be the taste testers for the experience.
That's right.
This looks like an old fashioned.
We did a tour of Tulsa this last Monday it was. It was Monday, and we looked at land, potentially at building a store.
What is this?
This is an old-fashioned cocktail. Not an old-fashioned, but it's an older cocktail.
It almost tastes like a Manhattan.
It's in the pocket.
there's like a sharper taste than a typical. It's less sweet than an old fashioned.
It's in the pocket for sure. It's in that pocket. And I honestly can't remember the name of it. Bijou, maybe? What is it?
Ben? Yeah, I mean...
It is a bijou. Nailed it.
I would never have guessed that. What's in a bijou?
Well, you need to drink more. I feel like it's kind of like a brandy Manhattan.
Okay, so I was close.
Yeah. Certainly, it's got the cherry. It's got no ice. I mean, you're in the family, right?
Yeah.
The old-fashioned Manhattan.
Once you have those two things going on...
Definitely has vermouth in it, he says with confidence, not knowing if it does. Yeah, anyway, so we looked at some land. We've looked at buildings, man.
It's a process.
It's crazy. But we want to do it right. We want to make it a true testament to our beliefs and then live or die by those decisions.
The Covenant way.
It's like deck building.
Is it mine?
Yeah. I just played Lightbringer.
We've both done nothing. Don't you see? All right, I'll play Drain Vitality. And I will spend this basic. And I don't know if I'm going to use an action or side action on that. We'll have that be my action.
Okay. All right, here comes the Vamp. Master Vampire coming into play. Let me see what my basic sitch is going to be. I need
4 health is crazy.
Yeah, it's a beefy vampire.
Who printed
man.
this thing?
I know. Well, he printed it, and then he played it. You understand?
You see?
Well, I hate to spin that snake on this. All right, so what do I need? This is where I'm bad at this game. So I need maybe one more music note. So let's do this. Okay. Done. Vampire out. No side action to speak of. Sweet Baby Rays. So Sweet Baby Rays. Did you watch that Bo Burnham special yet?
Nope.
Did you see that, Bryce? You seen the Bo Burnham special?
I've had multiple people talk to me about it.
You should watch it because I'd like to talk to you about it.
I'll watch it. Right after I watch the Taylor Swift documentary.
You know, take that or leave it. But I'd like to talk to Bryce about what?
Is he a comedian?
Yeah. Comedian, but this is more of a kind of an... it was recorded during the pandemic by himself in his own little studio, apartment, whatever. And so there's a lot of existential social commentary notes mixed in. So it's a nice... You'll either like it or you won't. But you will feel something about it, for sure.
Yeah, check it out.
Ooh, cheese rat, that's a good idea. I need a cocktail called the Side Action. And it's a play on the sidecar. That's pretty cool. I don't know, that is strictly a good idea. But it's also the kind of thing that I think universally we don't like at all. It's not the value, the validity of the idea is strong. That is a great idea. However, this whole kind of the cultural reality of just letting something be what it is and doing it as itself as well as possible. It's kind of like that Jiro Dreams of Sushi thing where it's like you don't have to be clever, you just have to execute extremely well to make something great. I think like restaurants and service and game stores, they rely too much on cleverness as a crutch instead of just doing the thing as well as they can do it. You know what I mean? Like some cleverly named, like, it's essentially hash browns, but it's like, we'll call these something cool, like potato poppers or whatever. But it doesn't matter because you're not cooking them well. They're pale. So that's all you can call them hash browns, and if they're the best hash browns on earth, just call them hash browns and just make them well. Heat up your grill. Get a nice crust on those babies. You know how many times you go to a restaurant and it's pale?
Yeah.
Soggy hash browns. For no reason.
Yeah. I'm not going to a restaurant for soggy hash browns.
No. Especially these stupid...
I can do that at home.
I can't believe we have an entire genre of food that is diner food that just
I love
gets...
that genre.
I love the idea of it, but every time I go, I'm like... It's just not being done well.
You ever been
It's like a
to,
Seinfeld episode now.
You got to find the right Waffle House, and you got to go at 2 in the morning.
Right. That's right. Somebody knows how to fire up that grill, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that 2 a.m. crew knows what's up. There is enough I don't care, but also just enough of doing it the right way.
Yeah.
I've yet to be disappointed by the 2 a.m. Waffle House experience. Now, the 3 p.m. experience that we had that one year at
Under the hot sun. Oh my gosh.
I had to take a several-year break because it was just so disgusting.
Yeah.
And I could not feel that way when I would go into a Waffle House.
That's right.
We were baking in the sun, eating these fried eggs and biscuits.
It was tough, man.
Woo!
I
you get in the car and everyone's just like, what has happened?
Too much is rolling around here. I don't like it. And then James W., I love this. Okay, and apparently I'm in from Michael, so I appreciate that the soapbox is being encouraged. James W., excellent analogy. Loved your dreams of sushi. Fully, heartedly agree. People try gimmicky things instead of just doing what they're doing to the best of their ability. I feel so much that is the case in this industry. It's every industry, of course. But it's like, listen, just make a good product, get it to people on time, and make the quality of the experience as good as you can get it. We don't need some new shtick or some new gimmick. And but you move the pieces around with your left hand. It's like, that's fine. Just make the game really good and then focus logistically on delivering it. The fundamentals, man. The fundamentals. Everybody's excited to do the next, here's my next game idea. But then it gets to distribution time and it's like, it's 6 months late. Oops, I didn't spend time thinking about that part of it.
Yeah.
Just do everything well. Is it that hard? Anyway, just call it a Euro game. Just ship it and make it good.
Print it. Well,
got me all worked up.
Interesting. Lightbringer's a problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Nick put all the tools in here to deal with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called it the most boring name on the planet. Echo Vampire. At least call it Vampire. Like the vampire is echoing. I mean, that's at least interesting.
That's exactly what you were just saying, though. Just call it what it is and do it well. Don't.
That's actually very true.
Don't have a fun name for it.
Yeah. I love how I am totally destroying my own argument at the course of the beginning of the stream.
The what do you call it when you have two different things you believe that are at odds?
Paradox.
The paradox. That is what makes people real.
Yeah, I think that's right. Within paradox lies the mystery of all existence, they say.
Was that an Eastern thing?
Yeah, some kind of Eastern thing. Yeah, that's right.
Some kind of Eastern garbage.
That is actually one of the key differences. Western religious...
Oh boy, we're taking off now.
Western religious philosophy, theology, is steeped in paradox in the same way that... But they don't admit it is the problem, I think, a lot of the times. That's been my problem throughout as a philosophical pursuit. The East admits it. Like they say, hey, here's the information. You found a paradox there? Exactly. Go explore that. I think the West is more like, no, we didn't. Here's an exception. You know, God is both X, Y, and Z. It's like, just tell me it's a mystery and then say, go find out what's true in there. And that's kind of the religious, spiritual experience for me. But I digress. Anyway, here we are.
Thanks for attending Steven's TED Talk.
Lightbringer's still a problem for you.
Yeah, that's really the problem of the universe right now.
Yeah, and Ben's right. Cognitive dissonance is a good term for that.
Cards in hand?
2, and yes. You're organizing your little token tub.
You got the snake. You don't... I think... You just got the beefers.
I have everything I could ever want. I mean, this I think it's just built to win ashes. I think he built...
I can't deny it.
He said, I'm designing this, and I'm playing it, and so I probably have a little bit of information as to what's good. But Nick wouldn't design bad cards, right?
All right.
Except for that one Phoenix Born. Victoria? Should have been free.
It
should have been free, Zach. That would solve the problem.
Too late now, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. We spent all that time reprinting the cards, and they just...
Always reprint it again.
One die too late.
We're going Dread Wraith. Let's just make you deal with it.
Okay.
We positioned some pieces, and then I pushed go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna do it.
Here goes the cascade.
That Lightbringer in there.
Here we go.
Lock that puppy down.
Lock her down.
You must attack as your next main action, please.
I will. For sure.
See how handy that is? You too can buy flesh and blood tokens at some point in the future and use them in Ashes.
Dreadwraith will attack your Lightbringer.
There's no word.
No.
Yeah.
I will attack Echo. Now you can make a choice.
I will take 1 damage.
You got it. See, look, 3 dice, 1 damage. Best deal in baseball. Then I'll pass. Go my side action. I'm here to tell you that I'm going to come get you.
He's coming for me. Let's swing at 1 on Odette.
I'll take it. Why don't you want to spend the rest of the splash?
I'm waiting for you to do. I'm waiting and seeing.
Yeah, you sure are. Punk.
I didn't want to get slammed by a small sacrifice there. You see.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lightbringer's got to swing while you can. Joe, they're not there yet. They're super close. The flesh and blood token's super close. They've been super close for a while. Third parties, am I right? I love just the pacing of this game. I know that some people like lean forward real heavy when they play it and are probably like really intense about it. You know, of course, with anything that's. But some games are more inclined to that than others.
Hey, cheers.
Oh, Bryce, you got a drink, man? Yeah, cheers, man.
It's a whole new
You better post in
world.
Asana about that. We gotta be
you better lose your.
Very appreciative. That's really awesome.
Taking care of each other. That's really what it's all about, right?
Send Ops a postcard.
The handwritten letter. Thank you letter.
Yeah.
A bijou?
Bijou. Yeah. This is an old school cocktail. Yeah. Old school cocktail. Super good.
Reminds me of that. Have you seen Mad Men?
Yes. Well,
Parts of it.
I hate this conversation because I've seen it enough to know what it is, and I've seen probably a season or two, like, and then maybe another season or two, like, is around.
Gotcha.
You know, like it's in the background, and I'm like deck building or whatever.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Zooby Zooby Zoo song, the Bijou. I was like, what's the song? It's in She sings it in Mad Men.
Okay.
But if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it.
I mean, I probably heard it.
It's okay. I declare.
But all I have to say, doesn't the game? I don't know. It's something about the game that incline, like, it makes me inclined. It's a contemplative game. You have to think through every decision before you make it. Flesh and Blood is way more like high flying off the top rope. Like I know, like, oh, here's my attacky hand, and it's like a more ping pong match. You know, like volleys are going back and forth. This is like I'm sitting in a park at the chessboard. It's like, well, the weather's nice. We'll have some conversations. We'll move a piece every now and again.
It would be so awesome, and it's not practical for cameras or any of what we're doing. But if on nice weather days we could somehow also be outside,
I think the next space has got to have rooftop seating. You convinced me of that on the tour.
Rooftops are
Gotta have rooftop
just
seating.
everything I want.
You sit on a rooftop, look at downtown Tulsa
yeah.
and everything, and then if the weather's nice, you're playing up there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the dream.
My Charizard fell off the roof.
Don't bring your collectibles out here, kids. I warned you. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to pay 1 for a small sacrifice.
Tiny one.
I'm going to do 1 damage to my Wraith.
Mm-hmm.
To do 1 damage there.
All right.
Okay.
Now, why would you be doing that? Are you setting up something where you can then drain vitality? No, because that's just heals. 2 from Odette. You take 3 in return. You know, you have something that does 3 damage, which we know that you do based on our conversations and everything on the deck building.
Mana saying I really need to get into this game. It's honestly one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. Yes, it truly is.
And yes, you do.
Phenomenal game. You should definitely check it out. Super accessible game. The thing I'll say, so I played in the leagues, right? I've been playing League Night, and those games went really quick. You can jam this game out. But the thing about Ashes is, just like chess, you can actually, once you kind of know what's going on, see 100 different plays that are barely any different but significant.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to crack each of those open, you can spend time thinking it through. And then also, the thing we have here that I don't have on League Night is hundreds of people interacting with us that you can engage in a conversation about Eastern and Western philosophy, et cetera, what's the name of the drink, all that kind of stuff.
It's true. Any Zoomers watching?
I don't know if I love or hate that term.
It's awful. But everyone hates, I think, millennial's not terrible. We need a different name for Zoomers. What do you want to call them?
The problem with millennial, though, is that boomers think that millennial means kid.
Oh, right.
But millennials aren't kids anymore.
Yeah. But at least it's kind of giving a hint as to the time period of this person's existence.
Yeah.
Zoomer, I don't yeah, it's not good, is it? It's kind of it discounts the adulthood. You can't be a Zoomer and be mature, right? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like if you say, they can't, guy's a Zoomer.
Once the Zoomers are in their 40s, it's not going to fit anymore.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Millennial always works.
Even 20s. It's like, I know how to think. I'm not like a child.
We do. We played Arena Rex. Was that 2 weeks ago? That was a miniatures game.
That was
I also
2 weeks
played Crisis
ago.
Protocol. I've mostly been painting it for the past 6 months, but
we played Arena Rex with that new terrain. That was awesome.
That was great.
That game is so
Until I
good.
lost, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I smoked you with Arena Rex.
That's not true.
And watch the replay. Swing for 3 at Odette.
I have an action. Take 3.
I know a tee up when I see one.
Use it while you got it. You know what I mean? What's great, though, is that I could just be poking you for just no reason but to spend my action.
That's right.
Now, this is interesting. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And Skytear is similar, whoever's mentioned in Skytear there. Manadork, yeah. Skytear. Mm-hmm. So we have a couple of God tier games on the channel. God tier did not hit for us. There's the kind of people that we are. Don't know why. I could probably actually figure out why. I just haven't really spent the time to do it.
I know exactly why.
Okay, tell me.
Skytear. That's why I didn't even mention it. In my brain is a card game.
Okay. All right.
It's not. It's a miniature card game. I get it. But like in my head, I haven't ever painted it because we had the lovely community, our friends at home painted those models for us. So I didn't think about it that way. God tier is if you want an extremely accessible, fast to get to the table, full-on miniatures game, feeling game, that's what it is. But like if I'm going chunky miniature game, I'm going to be playing like the 90s Star Wars miniatures game that's compatible with the RPG and it's bizarre, or like it's going to be real chunky. Game? It's going to be
or like Infinity.
Chunky.
I had a good time with Infinity. I thought Infinity was great.
But it didn't stick.
No, well, there's just too much work. I work at work. I don't want to necessarily work, but sometimes it's different for people.
If I want to work like in a miniatures game, take just the work on the execution. Like Star Wars CCG is that kind of game for me. You have to work to even play it, but it delivers so hard on the theme.
Yeah.
That it's worth, like, every time I just execute a game properly, I feel happy about it.
Yeah. You tell great stories in that game.
With God tier,
Tier, yeah.
God tier.
To play on God tier, yeah.
I felt like I was doing a lot of work, and I didn't really know why.
The best way I've been able to describe it is that God tier felt like a video game that I could not jump in.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but that's true.
I felt like I was making decisions, and I didn't have any idea why.
It was kind of like the agency was low for me. And it was like once something was going wrong, I just was like, I can't stop it from going wrong. I just have to watch it go wrong
Suboptimal.
for the next 6 turns, you know?
Not good.
Can't correct course very quickly.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yeah. I just swung with the vampire.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I'm really playing chess now. Is it my turn? Whose house is this? That's how I play chess, at least. Plants are looking good. We do our best. Try to make it a park-like environment. That is a sophisticated drink. I love that drink. Something the Queen would drink.
We both know that. Are you going to summon that blood puppet or not?
No.
Waste of time.
Maybe at the very end.
Yeah.
to try to do. It doesn't do a damage if it's on your board.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, I'll try to do it at the end. Isn't the split in generational between millennials and whatever's after Gen Y or whatever? Isn't it really about if you were formatively happening before the internet was introduced? Isn't that fair? Because like I feel like if you started with the internet at age 0, you have a different experience of the world than me, who really started with the internet at like 14, 15.
Yeah.
And phones and all of that. We didn't have any of that stuff.
Were you able to have an iPhone when you were 7?
Yeah.
Honestly, another one is, at what age did you get a cell phone?
Yeah.
I was like 17, 18. Whereas I have nieces and nephews that are like 8.
Yeah. And the iPad has been there since day one.
Day one, yeah.
That's a different experience.
Yeah. Now we had Game Boys.
I was throwing chestnuts at cars at age 6.
I was just reading a book at age 8.
How old-fashioned.
Yeah. Man, this is a pickle. I want maximum efficiency.
Yeah.
If I pass, are you gonna pass? Yes. That's the answer.
Yeah, I would.
Let's force it. Here comes the Holy Night.
Okay.
Oh, Holy Night. Yes, there. Wait, you aren't still throwing chestnuts at cars? Michael says he had a pager at 16. I never had a pager.
Oh, I had a friend who had a pager. Made fun of him a lot.
I saw them a lot. Who had a pager?
Josh Taylor.
I remember.
He was paged exclusively by his mom. It was never an emergency, but it always felt like it. You know?
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm getting a page.
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting a page. It's like, oh, so you better check on this. And it's like, did you feed the cat? You know, it's like, Mom, I'm at school. I had to go to the office.
Yeah, I had one of those old brick phones that the Nokias that had Snake on it. That was my first phone. When the iPhone got announced, I wanted it so bad, but my family was on the terrible U.S. Cellular.
Yeah,
and then it was only AT&T at first. I tried so diligently to convince my father to switch. He was very anti AT&T as well. It was a problem.
I tried so hard.
Man, I don't know. I haven't heard of Mage. You know what? I looked at that Kickstarter, Mage Nora. No current plans to check it out, but you never know.
Oh my gosh. I think this works. It's so good for me. I'm going to try it and see what happens. And then chat can tell me if it doesn't. Okay. We're going to do Chaos Gravity. Now check this out. I'm going to follow the instructions and you tell me if I get it wrong.
Okay.
Place one exhaustion token on a target unit.
Okay. This is fair so far.
Move one exhaustion token from a target unit to another unit controlled by the same player. So I'm not targeting that.
I'm not targeting anything. Yeah, you can do this.
And then remove an exhaustion token from a target unit.
What kind of garbage is this? You have to spend resources for that, right?
No, that costs something?
Two dice.
I didn't make the game, man. I'm just playing the cards.
Okay. Cool. Well, I have no choice.
Probably a reason that he built this around Echo. He said, I'm going to make Echo the best Phoenix Born and then build a deck around him.
It's Meteor for 3 damage to everything on the board.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that about sums it up. Okay. Don't need exhaustion when you're dead.
Odette, spirit bombing.
Oh, yeah?
Just make that not good, whatever that last card is.
It's a good one. Let's meditate. And then main action, Grave Knight.
Boy, howdy, is it good. Jiminy crickets.
So there's that guy. I'll pass to you.
I'll pass.
Okay.
Yeah, feel free.
Swing of the Wraith.
You got...
It's got overkill 1. Take care, Joe Solo. Did you say bye to Joe yet?
I didn't. So I can either lose my Wraith and take 1 or take 4.
That's right.
I'll take 4.
Okay. No sad actions.
Pass.
I know you're gonna do the thing, and I'm gonna do the thing. So, at a certain point, why bother summoning the Blood Puppet if you're just gonna use Odette's ability in response? Just save a die.
Sure.
But also, you get the die back.
Up to you.
So what's it matter?
Maybe I'll leave it and take 1.
You wouldn't.
No.
No, there's no reason to do that.
No.
You wouldn't deal 2, take 4, right?
No. Not happening. You have recover 2. No way.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna not. I'll just keep it as it could always be a basic. You know.
I'll also pass.
I'll pass.
This goes to you. So I wanted to save that meteor for until after whatever that was came out. But you unfocusing your other thing was a problem. I mean, I maybe should have saved it anyway. But the other thing was doing how many?
Does he recover a billion? What are you doing?
No, he's got 4.
He's just packing it up. I'm going home. Well, my time here is done. All right. I got a goat and a lion, which
Hey, that's a heck of a roll.
for this deck is phenomenal. Yeah. Nick's Beefy Boys? It's a good name. I think it's a good name. Well, it's a big old Dread Wraith.
He's cruising.
Might just be taking that one. Must be blocked if able. So the Dread Wraith has to block for Odette. If I attack Odette, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we would kill each other.
Yep, a good exchange for you.
Yeah. We kind of go back to 1 here, but you have 9 damage because of overkill.
Yep. It was not a good turn for me.
Okay, well, let's do that one then. Yep. Yep, let's do that one. I'm going to attack Odette, and it must be blocked.
Block you.
I mean, the other piece there is that you could exhaust Dread Wraith and just swing for 4. But then
There's ways that goes wrong.
Just don't let things get out of control with these crazy units you build up to.
Yeah.
You're a builder. Also, folks talking in the chat about local ashes, yeah, making it happen is what it takes. It's always a bummer. The burden is so often on players to get that work done. But we do, in the meantime, have a pretty active Discord channel for Ashes. Chaos Theory's there. Super helpful. Just some great videos if you haven't watched them. But we also do a weekly Ashes League, and we've got the 3 months have already been registered, and that's running now for another 2.5 months. So you can subscribe to get into the Discord League so that 2.5 months from now, you get a 3-month league where you play a game every weeknight on webcam, which is super fun. But even if you just want to come to the Discord on Wednesday nights tonight, you can find games of Ashes via webcam. So if you're just looking to play with your physical cards, want to engage with the community, etc., it's a great option. Buy my book.
Let's party.
Yeah.
Meditate. Go. Let's play Grave Knight.
Sword of Virtue on the top there. Oh, well, somebody took note from
Angel.
Nick's Beefy Boys here.
Basic. Come and get it.
You're all main actions. I see. I get it. A lot of main actions there. I'm going to summon that Lightbringer.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we are America.
Si se puede.
The most powerful unit in this game.
Yeah.
Satisfy its beautiful plumage. And then side action. Don't do anything yet. We're going to meditate 1 from hand. Mass heal. Don't need it in this matchup, I don't think. And then 1 more from hand to go up to goats. Okay. There we go.
Side action, Light Swordsman. We'll swing the Light Swordsman at Echo.
I'll block that.
Yeah. Strike you for 2.
Oh, it's quick strike.
It does quick strike.
hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
there it
Math
is.
isn't good. Math isn't good yet. I'll take 2.
Call me in the morning.
Yeah, I will be calling you. I can't call it.
I'm gonna let you think about this while I brush my teeth.
Okay.
Invisalign, etc.
Invisalign dentistry. As you are. As you know. Guys, I don't have a units to play. I'm gonna need to use this ceremonial. Do I take a damage or do I take damage equal to their attack? I think it's just 1 damage. I think it's time for a vampire. Vampire trades with Grave Knight. That's not what we want. 2 Grave Knights definitely kill each other. I think it's the vampire. I think I'll side action vampire back, vampire in. If Grave Knight attacks vampire, block with Echo. Vampire attacks swordsman. No, heal 1, that's not enough. Just take the 3 damage probably. Vampire attacks Grave Knight. That's right. So we're gonna get board advantage here. That's our plan. We're gonna master vampire, and then if Grave Knight swings, then we come back through with power through vampire on Grave Knight, do a damage, heal a life. Yes. Yes. Yes, this deck is fire. So good. So good. Jason, he's playing Odette. And that is the goal. He can't block a vampire swinging back at Grave Knight, which is killer. Now, Echo can block his Grave Knight. So it must be blocked if able. Or must be guarded, or must be blocked, yeah. So guarding doesn't matter. Or you're not blocking if you're just taking the attack, right? Is that what you mean? This is a good question. So like if Graveman attacks Lightbringer, can Echo step in the way of that? It says it must be blocked if able. But that must be guarded if able. Unless Lightbringer not getting Echo on the guard means that Lightbringer is now blocking. Huh. Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Nor will I ever. Blocking is the act of changing the defender from the current defender to a new defender, I think. Yeah. Echo could guard for the Lightbringer. Right on. I think about that drink, Bryce. Yeah, it's good. It really has an old feel to it, doesn't it? It's all I want anymore, honestly. Just an appeal to history.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's like, well, I like the way things were done. I don't know, there's a certain quality when it had to be done well or not at all. Not that that's an illusion, of course. Rose-colored glasses on that one, but no, tradition. I like it traditional. Fundies, not too fancy. The root of things. It makes sense, right? You try to find the root of things. So the simplest way to make something good. Mana Dork, what's up? That's great news. After watching you guys numerous times, I'm going to buy into Ashes. It just seems so good. I just need to take the lead. Great. Buy on. In fact, I'll tell you what you do. Get on the Discord tonight and just watch people play. Just go from table to table. Watch people play. See if it's what you're into. All right, my action?
Yep. Solve it.
Yeah. Side action, Goat. For Master Vampire in the end.
Take a damage.
Take a damage, yeah.
Gotta gain every point I can get.
And then we'll main action Vampire in. And then we've got to make sure we don't need these dice. Bing. And what sympathy like draws me a card, is that right?
Yeah, and then you can put a card on top or bottom of your deck or neither.
Okay, I like that. I might actually use that this game. This turn, rather. That's been honored. I will say, Mandorg, I think this is one of the greatest card games that exists. It's a different speed. The reason it's so good is it's not competing for the same brain space as so many collectible card games and just general card games are doing. The play here is notably different than the more kind of, how shall I say, caffeine-induced gameplay of many traditional card games. Faster pace, like moving very quickly. We can't say it enough. There's a contemplative feel to this.
Blood Chains. Destroy a unit I control. Place an exhaustion token on a target unit. That's what I'm targeting.
Golden Veil.
You had the one of... Ah! Alright, that's my action.
I wish Nick would comment right there and just be like, that's why it's in.
That's why it's in there. See you tomorrow.
It's good.
Idiots. Yeah, 2 cards, everything?
Yep.
Well, there's something interesting here. I don't think the interesting thing is us just killing each other. That can't be as good as it needs to be. So, do I risk more shenanigans from Zach? Or do I plot my course here? Because you could have more shenanigans is the problem.
Definitely.
You're a shenanigan deck builder. You put shenanigans in there, constant shenanigans.
So that I can win games just like this.
Yeah.
You create consistent exchanges that give you a lead. And then I throw the ball right into the end zone from 80 yards out.
Right. He threw it 80 yards to the hoop. You can't do that. You're probably going to summon a Dread Wraith. You've got... But then you can't small sacrifice. So I think your decision here, just talking you through your business, the way I see it, you probably threaten small sacrifice onto vampire. Odette then is online to... Nope, still can't kill the vampire. So there's no way. This is just bad. It's all bad.
The vampire having 4 health for 3 dice is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad for Zach.
Who printed this?
Well, you got a Grave Knight 4/3 as well, you know. I think 7 is the stat line.
4 health is different.
It is different.
4 health is the magic number.
But 4 attack can get rid of 4 health.
Yeah, but I can't keep making that trade.
Same idea. 3 dice, 3 dice. 4, 3, 3, 4. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, no, that's not a mistake. Or maybe it is. I could just take the tuna here, too, as well, you know?
What? What does that mean?
That's a good question, actually.
The points are made up and the rules don't matter. Something like that.
I'll be taking the tuna. Tuna can. I think I should just be happy with this trade and move along with my life. No.
No.
No, I refuse.
No, no, no.
Can't be guarded against, so that's worth something there. Okay. I'm going to draw a card. Side action.
He's digging.
Okay. I'm going to put something on the top or the bottom. I'll actually put this on the top. Some crazy ideas there. And then I'll swing. Can't be guarded.
Counter?
Yep. I'll heal 1 from the vamp.
It just keeps going.
Incremental exchanges, as they say.
Okay. Let's meditate for 1. And then let's summon.
You know the Grave Knight?
Summon a Dread Wraith.
Okay. Okay. Let's do a little side action. Meditate 1. I know what that card is. I like that card.
I've made an... Why didn't you just put it in your hand?
Well, because I was wanting to draw... Well, yeah.
It's just in your hand.
You're right. That's stupid. Why would you ever do that?
If you had an effect that did something with the top card of your deck?
I was thinking I would get extra hand size, but it's absolutely not how that works.
No, you get the card right back in your hand.
Because it's the same card.
In fact, it's way worse because then if you meditate, it gets rid of it.
I just cut that out of the stream later, would you?
Yeah.
Meditate up to a lion.
I'm starting to figure out why you win so often. Letting you take these takesy-backsies.
You can take back anything you want, man.
Can we start over?
Blood.
Can I take back that first round?
Everything I've done. There you go. Have that one.
That's cute.
Yeah, you can use it to small sacrifice.
What are you doing with 2 lions?
Pump up this peacock, man.
It's the new wave. Through the wave.
Big splash wave. What is it, Safari Joe's now, or
I don't know, man.
Big Joe's water slide?
2 lions. Can I see your discard pile? Now we're getting into serious business.
Jason, I don't want to echo the Grave Knight. Oh my gosh, it's so right. You couldn't counter then. Ah! Echo's so good.
Yeah, you exhaust the Grave Knight and then attack it.
That's so good.
Echo is so good.
I just, for some reason, I keep thinking, like, if they're exhausted, I can't attack them.
No, you can definitely attack them.
That is not the game of Ashes that I'm playing. That is so tremendously better for me that it boggles the mind. I'm not taking it back though.
You can put her back out here.
Just
exhausted.
know.
It'd be the same outcome. You'd just be sitting there exhausted.
All right, I'll do it.
I'll put an asterisk next to the title in the stream.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I'm playing this all wrong. This deck is better than I am is the problem.
Yeah. It just keeps giving you better options.
It's like, oh my gosh. It's more busted than I thought.
It's good, though. This is a challenge that's not Rhino that I need to be able to overcome. So we'll eventually get there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jason. What's up, Joshua Monk? Hey, what's up, Joshua Monk? Check out the stream Upper Deck did today for Versus System 2 PCG. Why is it that everything I always read about Versus is like, it's like reading the SKU off the side of a box? You know, it's like 17 letters in a row.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this?
Because Upper Deck, they don't care.
Everything about that doesn't tell me it's a superhero game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with Versus in terms of branding and marketing. It's like, you mean superhero combat?
The game.
They used decks built from the new Civil War Battles box that came out today. They said it's the perfect new player jumping on point. Looked like fun. It does sound like fun. I can't believe that. Echo taking away the countering of a unit with Master Vampires in this deck is so tremendously
Between
good.
that ability and then his signature card being maybe one of the most busted cards in the game.
I would bet that none of our decks can beat this.
I'll play Brendan next.
I'm willing to... Well, it's got vampires, though. It heals one for the Phoenix Point every time you kill a unit. Yep. And I kill your units, you can't sacrifice them, and I heal.
You keep bringing it back.
Yeah.
And bringing back the vampire basically costs you nothing, because when it goes away, you get your health back.
That's right. Unless you're awful.
I'll play Brendan. Brendan's my best deck, so I accept the challenge. Probably next week.
Yeah, these 3-hour Ashes games are about my favorite time in the week, honestly.
It's really good.
It's just everything I'm looking for.
What are you doing with those lions? It's driving me... Let me see your discard pile. That's where we started. Then you realized that you made the biggest blunder in Echo history.
That may be true, actually.
I think you got a Lightbringer in the discard pile.
If Nick just changed the name to Vampire, I think that would be way better.
You better not have the third copy of that Chaos Gravity sitting in that hand.
Oh. Who would do that?
You pull your one Golden Veil and then the Chaos Gravity, that would be next level hijinks.
You put them in there for a reason. I'm just using the cards. Taping up boxes in the other room, everybody.
Jiminy Crickets.
It's one of the advantages of these atmospheric mics, you know. You get the full experience of the office.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to meditate for one. Lion.
Wait, what are you doing with lions? You just copying me now? Because you can't beat me, you got to join me?
I'm going to attack your Phoenix War with my Blood Puppet.
Stupid. Fine, you got it.
Hey, if you're going to waste a slot on my battlefield, I at least get an action killer.
I'm going to side action lion that peacock.
There it is. What's your main action?
Pass.
You
know, that small sacrifice anymore. I feel fresh as a spring rain.
What I do have, though, is another Spirit Bomb. 3 damage to everything. Welcome to your doom.
Okay. I'll play.
Get that out of here.
Your business, Jackie. Vampire's not dead. Isn't that crazy?
That's what I'm saying. 4 is the wrong number.
Maybe I got this rhino thing you should check out next. Pass.
I'll hit you for 4.
4 plus 3 is 7. Going to 7. Passing again.
I'll deal 2 to your vampire and take 3.
Right on. I like it. I like it. Look at you. You pulled defeat from the jaws of victory or whatever it was.
Victory from the jaws of defeat.
That's right. Yeah, that's the better one.
Nailed it.
Defeat from the jaws of victory.
I'm passing forever until you pass.
I'll pass.
Okay.
I'm gonna flip this around.
Oh, look who's the man now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all that talk and...
Hello? Are you an angel?
Oh, no. Boy, that's potatoes.
You went to Stormtrooper Basic School.
My gosh. Wow.
Let's keep that in my hand.
I haven't done that bad in a while.
Heat in the kitchen.
Look at this, though. Look at this.
Just potatoes?
Look at those basics. I'm going to discard one.
Mine?
Yeah.
Let's think about this. If I swing for 4... Yep. I'll swing at you for 4.
You get it.
All right.
Wraith is in town.
Like, what am I down by? 1?
Yeah, just one.
Technically 2 because you have an extra health.
Nah, I don't know.
Better not let me get going.
2 side action or 2 meditates. We'll do them one at a time. They're just, whatever. Goat.
Michael Jordan?
Horse. And then playing this vampire. This thing. This thing.
I'm
They
tired
just
of
keep
it.
coming. They're echoing, That's why the name of the deck should be Echo, Echo, Echo. And then the thing we don't need. What's the thing we don't need?
Man,
We
the
need
base set's a
this.
really good place to start playing the game. It's 6 fully functioning decks. Of course, if you have all the expansions, you have a lot more customization options, but great value out of that core set.
All right. Consider it done. Yeah, base set's great. As Zach said, base set is great. That master set is like the best value in tabletop. Jason Dower, wow, the cards are beautiful. Welcome. Welcome to Ashes. There's a reason we won't shut up about this game. It's beautiful in every way. And the design matches.
Let's map this out.
I feel like an actual wizard. A wizard, Harry. Larry King. He looks like an owl.
Mm-hmm. We sure do.
I think you just put the good cards in here, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's just the good cards in here, man. I think we're overthinking.
I agree, though,
we're
man.
overthinking this a little bit.
Just put the good stuff in.
Put the
Always
good
have
stuff
good cards
in.
to play.
Yeah, and then you play the good cards.
Synergy's overrated in this game. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah. Don't be too clever. It's a math guy,
Plus, Echo is just... Every time I realize you can just exhaust my unit, it's a bummer. So,
It's not ideal for you.
let's Swords of Virtue that vampire. Destroy it.
Pretty good one, too, yeah.
I paid 2, you paid 3. I mean...
That's a good exchange. Incremental advantage, as they say.
It's just not how I like to play.
As a fella says,
Man, this is still the first game. Jason agreed. Says, wow, these cards are beautiful.
That's right. All right, well, from one to the other. Let's roll in on a Sonic Swordsman here. Since we got beef, let's beef on.
Jiminy Christmas.
They get worse the more you read, honestly.
Worsely good, yeah.
Yeah. More 4 health for you there. Just
not worth it.
The old Zach removal factory every year.
Right? Gotta keep doing it.
Here's the beef. You keep at it. I'm gonna do a side action here as well. Don't do anything yet. I need to get my dice right. I'm gonna do 3. I'm not gonna commit to 3 yet, but it's gonna be 3.
Deck's getting thin.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I concur. Why have I not won yet?
Yeah, I know, right? I keep playing all these big things. What's going on here? It's funny, you look at it, and you're like, yeah, okay. The big things cost 3. Removing them, most of the time, particularly signatures, 2. So the counter is, hard removal for allies, basically. Yeah. You win a die in that exchange.
Well, let's keep on going. Blood chains. Destroy a unit.
Now, that's good. That's a really good exchange.
If it has damage, I can put 2 exhaustions on a target unit, so I'll put 2 there. Okay. Got my damage, and I'm out of here. All these beefertons.
A lot of beef there. I'm going to summon a 3-eyed owl. And then I'm going to meditate 1. And honestly, I don't think this is the matchup for Blood Puppet. I just don't. It's gone.
Odette's ability is good against Blood Puppet.
Yeah. It's just a meditate. I was banking for later. I got dice in different area codes, man. Man, you got a ton of dice, though. You've done a lot. This is good. I thought this was like just a
Slaughterfest?
Yeah. I thought I was just receiving the punt. So much I love about that cherry.
It's delicious.
Luxardo, maybe. You get a cocktail with that bright red cherry in it, and you slap somebody.
Was not prepared.
Either you or your bartender. Someone's getting slapped, though.
You're bringing in something juicy.
I'm glad that that's how you think.
I'm just usually bringing in the beef. I gotta be prepared for it at all times.
Yeah.
It's gross.
You're playing against an Arby's.
We have the meat.
Now, Jason's saying Odette is probably the best Phoenix born in a vacuum.
Why is she good in a vacuum?
Yeah. She's great against, Swiffer. That's not even a vacuum brand. What's a vacuum? Dyson? Yeah, Power Vac or whatever?
I don't know what to do.
Well, from what I can tell, you're just going to sit and wait until I do something and then take it off the board. So, you keep doing that, wrong. I guess. You can keep doing that.
Well, the two main lanes I have are either use a goat to go get a beefy boy, a Grave Knight, or summon a Dread Wraith. A Grave Knight is immediately a 4 damage.
We have big allies.
Party, but he has 3 life, not 6.
Big allies.
Plus, he has the benefit of you having to block him if I decide to go for it.
Big allies, man. Big allies.
But he cost me an extra die. That's probably the answer. Okay, meditate.
Speaking of thin decks over there.
Yeah.
Oof. You got Adrenaline Rush.
It's a go world. We're just living in it. Wraithing ain't easy.
Yeah. What are you going to do with a Wraith, you think?
It's made for swinging.
The boots were made for swinging.
And that's just what they'll do.
Alright, let's do a side action for the bringer here.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta attack. Gotta attack. Gotta attack.
Shield Mage is a side action. We'll swing with a Shield Mage at...
You got a lot of good side action units here. You did it. Congratulations.
She's blank.
She's blank. Alright, Lightbringer. You have the answers. You have all the answers, see? Got the answer to the library, you got the answer to the owl with Odette. You got the answer to Blood Puppet with Odette. I don't like it. It's a lot. What are these 2 cards that you have? I don't know what you're into here.
It's a good fight.
You still got the goat. Don't rock the goat, baby. Rock the goat. Don't rock the goat, baby. Small sacrifice Odette is pretty nice. That's very nice. Very good. Very nice.
I'm glad you like it. It's better when I'm not just wasting a lion slot here. What am I doing? I'm playing cards, you see? Spinning the dice.
Well, that's an interesting reality we're living in, isn't it? I go first next turn, is that right?
You do. That's why that double exhaustion is so clutch.
So you small sacrifice, and then I gotta swing. Yeah. That's acceptable to me. Thank God that's not a side action. Lord of mercy.
If it were, it'd be insane.
Grave Knight coming in.
Come on now. He's got the heat.
Beef on beef.
Man, thank golly I have what I have, I think. Think about that. I have to block him Vable, right?
Yeah. Rawr.
You have no money.
No money, no whammy. 16 in the middle of Miami.
You could also just
It's actually no money, no family.
exhaust me.
But that's not how we sing it at the
swing
office.
for 5.
That's 4.
Well, if you exhaust here, you can just pile in.
I hadn't thought of that. I'll certainly be doing that if you small sacrifice here. Let me tell you.
Of course
You
will.
teeing me up for Odette, I'm gonna swing in. How do I have more health than Odette? Odette looks like somebody who would have a lot of health, you know what I mean?
Because they just decided to make Echo the greatest thing on the planet.
I mean, I have robes on. How tough can you be? You know what I mean? You got a full suit, full plate.
I know. I got armor. What's going on here? Who made this game? Nick? Alright, well.
I like the refrain of just yelling at Nick about anything that is probably appropriate.
Use it while you got it, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you wanted to be in the spotlight, huh? You wanted to reveal your name?
Is that the best use of my time here? Time is short.
Time is short. Time is dice.
The attack I've got to block.
Wow. That is some of the craziest taping. You gotta shut that. You really taping an entire state in there? Somebody taping a vehicle? Like they had to go around the world on that tape gun there.
All right.
What is that? There's seams over there in the other Gigi's. Go outside as my car is taped shut. He's laughing now.
That'd be awesome. Let's Sword of Virtue, that Grave Knight.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, well, that's fine. You can't have an infinite amount of those.
That's right. I will eventually be out. I think I played played two.
Probably now. Probably out now.
There are none left.
All right.
Galactus says it's an instrument and they're rehearsing.
Okay, so what do you do? Yeah. Okay. Fine. So I can get 1 damage in and maintain Lightbringer. Yeah. So let's exhaust Dreadwraith, swing for 1.
At Odette.
With Echo's ability, yeah.
You got it.
Okay. And then exhaustion is removed.
From me. Mine? Odette, gonna punch my Dreadwraith.
There you go.
Dreadwraith's gonna punch back for 1.
You got it. I think that all comes out in the wash. I don't know if I did my math right, but... Yep.
You pass?
Yep.
I'll swing at you for 3.
You got it.
And we're at a tie ball game.
I got more health.
Tied in terms of how much damage we've done. I thought I lost so long ago.
Yeah, me too.
This is a Christmas miracle.
Well, I mean, when you just paying 2 to remove all my 3 dice out, well, you did that 3 times that turn. So that was 3 die gained.
It was the heater. I paid 5, removed 3 units, basically.
Yeah. That's the answer to Beefy Boys. Take them off the table.
It's an interestingly good roll.
Hey, what's up with that? You can build a second. It's deck's awful.
Oh, how the tables turn.
It's not me, it's the deck. You're probably drawing all bad cards now, though.
You hope.
Okay, let's find out what tricks I have. Oh. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool.
At long last. It's been a good fight.
Small sacrifice of main action, yeah.
What is?
It is.
All my little spells down here, actions.
Okay, I kind of see where I think this might go. So, let's
Next
take
one
a
of
look.
us.
Okay. And then we do that. Huh. Well, well, well. This is a weird one, man.
Good. Means we arrived at a good game state here.
Max value, max value, max value. Dong.
I've currently had, is that in ounces?
Mm-hmm.
About 22 ounces across 2 hours.
It's not terrible.
A little too much. A little too fast.
A little too fast, but it's not bad. I mean, you know, a little too bad. Okay.
Jason said a deck with less removal than this Odette deck would have just been toast after so much beef hitting the board.
That's right.
Removal, so important.
Yeah, a lot of beef there. That's a lot of beef. And I think you're probably out of beef removal.
Well, you know this.
I know the virtues are gone. I mean, you got 1 blood chains left, I think. Unless you dunked one early on a meditate. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Okay. So now we're playing ourselves what we call a long game. We both performed adequately.
I'm just happy to be here. Round 3. Who would have thought? I didn't think I was going to make it here. After that opener, 9-1 or something. Jeez.
Oh.
Just got to keep believing.
Okay. Oof. Oof. Man, oh man, oh man. What a question. Oof. Okay.
How's your Battlefield 6? Why are all your numbers better than mine?
I got numbers.
You have 1 more Battlefield, 1 more health. The same spell board.
Yeah, we got that ability.
It's good against bad cards.
Okay, let's do it like this. Let's do... I know you've got more of those. How many of those quick sword guys you have in your discard pile?
Less than you want.
1?
Sonic swords or light swordsman?
Mm-hmm.
2.
So you got 1 left?
You've seen 2 meteors. You've seen 2 shield mages.
Shield Magi, please.
You've seen 2 grave knights. 1 holy knight. 1 heal. 2 adrenaline rush. I'm just giving Bryce a test here. How fast can you pop the cards? And drink a drink. That's the question.
Okay. We're gonna kneel, but we gotta meditate first. So we're gonna meditate. It's owl, unfortunately. I hate it as much as you do, but we're here. And then we're gonna kneel.
Love that card.
Heart, stars, horseshoes, clovers, etc.
All hail King Echo. Okay, mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Adrenaline rush side action. A goat and a basic. Deal a damage to a unit and remove an exhaustion. And I'll swing at you for 4.
You got it. Taking 4. 1 away. The dreaded number.
How do I do a direct damage? Quick.
Okay. I'll tell you one way. Play that little side action knight, man.
What's his name anyway? Let me look in that discard pile. Blight Swordsman, that guy.
The old Blight Swordsman.
Black man.
Wasn't in my hand, I swear. Scout's honor. Could summon an old Lightbringer and just gambit it.
There's an old school idea. So there's an interesting. That's an interesting. That is interesting. And then you play, yeah. So that's crazy. I think I am going to do that.
Yeah. Worst case, you just get a body on the table.
Let the bodies. Complex turn. We're bringing it.
How does it read?
You must declare an attack as your main action if possible.
So if not, I could take a different action.
Yeah. Totes. And then, let me see, I may have a side action here. These boots were made for walking. And that's just what they'll do. Yeah. Side action, we're going to Adrenaline Rush here. And I don't need any of that. It's a weird sequence, but it's there. Okay, don't need this guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will meditate.
I know we don't have Meteor here.
I'd love to have that Meteor here. Then, of all things, I'll play a Fester. Uncle Fester.
Oh, man, you got all the answers to this. Did you build against this?
Bam, bam.
Did you build against this?
I didn't, weirdly. I just took the lions out and put these in.
That's crazy. Every time, it was like 1 for 3 dice.
You played Adrenaline Rush. I was just like, oh, that's too good for me.
I cannot do anything about this. There's nothing to be done.
What has happened?
The trades are too crazy. Honestly.
Yeah.
I cannot. He cannot solve the problem.
Literally, if I had known how good the direct exchanges would be, I would have been more prone to play this sooner. But I didn't feel that way.
The Fester stuff?
Well, it's just
or
like
this game.
I have so many just straight up blow something up for 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Even Meteor is 2 dice for 3 damage to everything. So like it can take care of your 3 health stuff. So I have so many. But like an example, I dropped the lion stuff and put the Grave Knight in. And like he's so helpful for those 4 health units. Anyways.
Don't you know it? Okay, new plan. New plan. Oy. There's really no plan, to be honest with you.
The plan is to slowly die.
There's nothing to be done here. No allies back. So I'm going to be very careful here. Do we have anything we can go get? Let's ask ourselves these questions. Is it any card? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so that's an option. Okay. So this, just take a look at this here. To this. These boots are made for walking.
Singing the same thing in my head.
Okay, so that works. Doesn't really matter where it comes from. How many cards you got in your hand? A bunch?
3.
Bunches.
Bunches of votes.
And I went first.
Mm-hmm. See you, Amanda.
Mm-hmm. So if this is my plan, I can go ahead and do that now. Okay, let's do a this, that. Let's do a magic siphon. Comes in, and then I'm going to side action, change a die in my active pool to change one of yours. So drop that to basic, and I'm going to go up to horsey.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Take care, Manador.
What are you up to?
Just poking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's just be cautious.
Cautious.
I'll deal the damage here to heal one here.
All right. Gone. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, well, since we're here, we need to do this and this. All right, we'll do a shared sorrow. Cost me this and this. Discard a card from my hand with magic play cost of 1 or more. Do you want to do that? I don't even want to do that. Ain't no reason. Because if I pass here and you pass, you can swing with the Dread Wraith, I can block with the Lightbringer, and you got no more mojo. So I'll just wait.
Yeah. Make me do something.
Wait and see if you're going to do it. But if I wait, let's see, if you do that, and I do that. No, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's why I did that. Because if you drop Grave Knight here, and I can't kill it, then I will lose. Because I gotta have units to play. Shared Sorrow, I'm going to discard a 2 play cost. Kill the Shield Mage, do 2 damage to it. And then search my deck. Search your discard pile for a card with magic play cost of 2.
That's a cool card.
Of which...
What's crazy is this was a 3. I almost put another damage here. With this thing. To deal damage. and I went this route.
Well, if you did deal another damage, I'm dead. So that I would have suggested that choice.
How would you be dead?
I don't know. Well, you just mean like after it was exhausted, you would add damage to it?
Yeah. So I had it was at 3 damage when it was exhausted. Mm-hmm. And I can use either of these to either heal the damage or do an extra damage. But he's at 4, then you can do 2 to him, and then he's off the board, which is way worse than losing the shield maid.
Most definitely. Make sure I can't just do that to the target unit. Oh.
You have no cards in hand? Besides whatever.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And then let me see if...
Good knowledge.
She's destroyed. And the spirit can't block, right? Spirit can't block. Okay, so that's interesting. Another card with 2 or less? It's not 2 or less, is it? X. Gotta be 2. Cost of 2. Another shared sorrow. Alright, well, about all I can do is grab a chaos gravity there. It doesn't matter.
No. All right.
Yeah.
Seen the light on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's meditate up to Lion. You knew it was what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's punch your Lightbringer. Take 1.
You got it. Pass, pass, pass. Quick strike me. Put me out of my misery.
I don't have the quick strike, but I do have a Holy Knight.
Oh. That's not nothing. Alright, Chaos Gravity. Put 1 on the Dread Wraith, move 1 on the from the Dread Wraith, and then I have to remove 1 from a target unit.
Welcome to your doom.
I'll remove it from the Dread Wraith because I can't target the Holy Knight.
Alright. Swing for 3.
You did it. Congrats. This deck fails to removal. Single target removal. Done.
Wow.
The end. You had it. You had the beef.
That's crazy. But I literally, so this was my hand.
Answer to the beef.
No, that wasn't my hand. This was my hand. This was the bottom of my deck. I'm out after that. Mm-hmm. I guess I can keep doing the...
Keep Dread Wraithing.
Yeah.
This is, I think, what's good to see about this, honestly, is that this is why Conjurations have some play. Because, like, I think at that point you removed 8 allies. Usually 3 dice for 1 or 3 dice for 2.
Yeah, so I played 2 meteors, and those were 2 dice each. But they removed multiple things at a time.
And usually remove at least 3 dice of my stuff.
I successfully played 1 Blood Chains, and you canceled the other.
Yeah. But that was just a 1 for 1.
I played all 3 Swords of Virtue.
Yeah.
And then I played a Fester. So you canceled this, and these all got a unit.
Mm-hmm.
So 3, 6, 7 direct removals.
So basically that's at least... So this is 2 dice. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This is only 1 die.
Yeah, but I'm talking about if you take 1 and you remove a 3 die.
Oh, how many am I ahead?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're at least 9 to 10 dice ahead at that point.
Off of those cards.
Cards.
Now,
deck can't win on that, man.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be able to, which is good.
Which is a good test.
Because it's just like, if you're relying on only big units to do your work. Well, I think it was a double slam because you can see how this deck is built. The big units want to be doing the heavy lifting, but your smaller units, Lightbringer, Owl, Blood Puppet, are all Odette can answer really well.
Her ability is built in.
Yeah,
right?
so
unless you have a lot of those hitting,
it's kind of the worst case scenario for this, I would think.
Really interesting. It's kind of cool because I felt like the snakes had us trouble against the big beefers.
Yeah, makes sense because snakes want to eat small things.
Yeah, and
generally,
if the snake deck had more direct control like this, it would be better.
Much better. Can it?
So the snake is a signature of Mayoni, so you lose this.
Well, Sword of Virtue has everything.
Yeah.
2 to kill a unit.
Technically, you can play all this, but this is why you see Mayoni being played with the Hydra. because you don't have to, if you're going to go snake, you have to play nature charm.
Yeah.
They do not have, they have AoE removal and little pings.
They don't have direct.
But they don't have they can't deal with the one problem the snake has, right?
The big stuff.
Yeah. So this is really fascinating to see, because obviously the direct removal is less good against smaller things.
Right.
But that's why Meteor is so good, right? In that specific example.
You gotta have a little bit of everything.
And then Fester and Blood Chains are solid because it's 1 die. So if you summon something with any amount of dice, I'm at least trading a die for a die. But when I'm trading those for 3 dice units, it's crazy town.
Yeah.
And, you know, the flexibility Odette offers that I really was appreciating, because there were a few moments where I played this twice and destroyed a unit. But if you didn't have a big unit for me to destroy, it was going to mean I unexhausted Grave Knight and go again. Because you can unexhaust and remove all tokens.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
So, like, super good
I can see why people say Odette is, like, super good.
Yeah. She's in the conversation for sure.
The crazy thing about that, the turn where you had Fester, what I was thinking on that turn...
That was just gross, man.
Aside from having Fester, is you have Sonic Swordsman and Lightbringer, and they're both unexhausted. So then you get a turn to play anything because your board's exhausted. And then I echo and win with 4. So as long as there's no way to deal with these guys, which you'd have to small sacrifice to kill Lightbringer, assuming that you see that, and then Swordsman stays up as the blocker that doesn't exhaust. But it's like, it's threatening the end of the game, and then it's like, oh, but instead you lose the unit?
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I just had the perfect card for that
so
moment.
Bad. Yeah, I was getting... You said you feel like that sometimes where, like, everything you do, your opponent just counters.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's so awful.
Yeah, you've done that to me a lot.
Yeah.
Where, like, I just would feel like, oh, I did something cool, and then you're like,
I'm in.
Mitigate the whole thing for 1 card, 1 day. Okay.
It's out of here.
And honestly, like, if you hadn't had that Golden Veil on turn 2, I think it is actually really bad.
Yeah.
Because you could cancel 1 later, but, like, the momentum shift at that moment was, like...
This would be so tough. This would be such a tough match for this Echo deck. I think no matter which way we slice it. Odette in general is going to be very tough here.
Because she can deal with your annoying stuff. And then she has
brings
answers
3
to the
Sword of
bigs.
Virtues.
Yeah.
3 Sword of Virtues plus dealing with the small stuff. I would probably, I could take this and tweak it up a little bit. Change some things.
Well, here we are.
But I don't know. There are some units and stuff in here that are probably like on the super technical side of why they're there. Like, oh, well, for this particular like meta game thing that's strong, I just, not knowing those, I'm like, well, I need better units than Blood Puppet and... But I think Nick was probably worried about going late game and having some like Owl Blood Puppet stuff for late game, thinking we could win early and mid.
Yeah.
But obviously direct removal is a big problem there.
Yeah.
Cheaper direct removal, rather.
It also makes me wonder, like, there's probably a way to play that where you're getting the vampire back enough that, like, you're just outlasting me.
Maybe.
Because
you need the goat to play it and the goat to bring it back, and you've got 3 goats a turn. So, like, a lot of times it was, like, vampire, then Grave Knight with the goat, and then maybe bring something back. At the end, I couldn't bring anything back because I was near dead.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. But I think the biggest mistake that whole game for me was I exhausted and then swung with Lightbringer. Because I was thinking that your capability to Odette my Lightbringer off the board and then swing with a Grave Knight for 2, I may as well take the 1 damage now knowing that Lightbringer is going away. But then you Odetted the Grave Knight for 2, or the Dreadwraith for 2. And if I had still had Lightbringer standing up, you wouldn't have been able to do that. You'd have had to waste Odette on that, take 1 anyway, and then swing for 2 with the Knight or the Dreadwraith. So yeah. I think I lost 1 damage in that exchange that I could have prevented 1 damage, which maybe would have let me get a unit, an ally back, to play a vampire at the end.
Yeah.
But like that's why it's so tight. The gameplay is so tuned that like that one moment was like, that was 1 damage away from.
I also get a sense watching you play that like you have the options that are available in that deck are really wide.
There's a lot of good options, yeah.
And the fact that you can basically go get an ally back with the ceremonial dice, and your allies are so crazy. There's a lot of decision making beyond just playing your hand out.
Yeah, which ally to get, those kinds of things.
Yeah, and like when the Lightbringer needs to come out, it's a very specific moment. I really liked having, even I didn't use them overly much, but those starting the Drain Vitality and Small Sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Having that 1 damage ping on the table
changes a lot.
Very helpful.
Yeah,
and
changes a lot.
I liked it. I already have Meteor in the deck, but the reality that Meteor can be a AoE 3 or a 2 or a 1, and then having those 1 pings that I don't normally have because I don't have nature lets you set up some. That's what I did turn 1. I did 1 to one of your units because I knew I was going to Meteor for 3.
Yeah.
But then you were like unexhaust, and I was like, oh no. Like, you did so much damage that first turn.
Yeah.
You almost just blitzed me.
It was a good first turn. Yeah.
Beyond anything.
That was crazy. That was fascinating game. Makes me want to build my own deck again.
We're back. That was great. It was a miracle. I definitely thought I was passive aggressive towards Echo in the middle because it was just like, I can't beat it. And then a miracle happened.
And you beat it.
And here we are.
With the power of Odette.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Odette.
Well, hey, that was great. Everyone out there, thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining.
If you aren't already signed up for that PDP subscription for Ashes, check it out on our website. Huge shout out to all our content members and our subscribers. The only way we're able to do this every week is because of you.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.